Thank you so much for joining me for this Color Street Masterclass. Basically, I'm going to show you guys some of the tips that I've learned on how to apply your Color Street to make sure that they last as long as they can last and that they look great. So, one of the things that you want to do is you want to shape your nails with a nail file so that they're already ready to go. That's easy. Another thing is you want to also push back your cuticles. So your cuticles, you don't want to actually push back your cuticles when your hands are dry. Especially right now, I live in New England and heat is on now, everything's getting drier, I'm moisturizing all the time. So just make sure that you do not attempt to push back your cuticles when your hands are dry. You want to make sure that you have a moisturizer on them before you do that. A cuticle oil out of the shower is a really great time to put them on as well. And for me, I just use one of these doohickeys. What do you guys call this? Comment below, let me know what you would call this. Doohickey? I would call it a cuticle stick. That's what I would call it, but I don't know what you would call it. Anyway, you can get these really cheaply off of Amazon. I find that this particular tool is the perfect tool for a master Color Street applicator. So, this is what I'm going to use mostly for when I do apply my Color Street. And then let's show you what comes right out of the package if you are new to actually using Color Street. So basically you just have this little flap in the back that you open up and you will have a few things to take out. So these are the nail strips, and when I open this you'll see there's actually 2 sets of here. So there's actually 16 strips, 2 sets of 8. And then you also will get in here nail prep pads. This is very important too because you want to make sure that any oils or residues you have on your nails are removed, because it's not going to adhere very well if you have an oily nail bed. And all of us have different ranges of how oily our nail beds are, so get rid of that oil first. And it's also going to give you a little nail file. Okay, so we're going to actually get started. So I'm going to now just prep my nails with the alcohol swab, and these come with the package. And again, I mentioned this already, but I always make sure I do all of my fingers, and then I also make sure I get just the actual fingertips of the fingers that I'm going to use to apply, which is usually my thumbs and my pointer finger. Alright, so I mean that's not fun and exciting, but important step you don't want to miss, because sometimes it's the oils that will make it so that it actually won't adhere very well, and then it will lift. Also, Color Street, you put them on dry, which is great, but they do take 2 to 3 hours to truly bond to your nails, which is why I like to do them before bedtime. I'm going to start with my pinky. So for my pinky, this got this nice little like fireworks. You can see that. So with the Color Street nail strip, basically right now it's being protected by 2 coverings. There's a cover on the front. If you look for this like little peach tab, you just pull that, and then that will take off the front hair coat. And then in the back, there's also this backing. Just look between where the silver and the white meet, and you can easily just pull that apart, and that is your nail strip. Okay, so I'm just taking it. And you guys, it does get easier the more times you do it, and I just place it down. Okay, so at this point, let's say it's looking a little wonky, it's not straight, you can actually just pick it up and put it back down. Now once we smooth it down, you're pretty much at that point committed to your placement. Okay, so I'm just going to place it down as close to the nail line as possible and drop it, and then let it go. And then what I like to do is I always smooth out at the base first, and then I travel up the middle, and then I will kind of smooth the sides. And that I find works out really well to not have any air bubbles. Alright, so I'm just smoothing that down. And then what I want to do is I want to save the rest of this for my other nail. So I'm just going to fold it over my nail until I find where that nail is. And then using my thumb, I'm going to just gently press it on the back side of that nail to break it. Now you want to be careful here. You don't want to be pulling this up and over because you might pull too much. You just want to kind of make sure it's already over and then break it with your nail. If you already have some color street and you have some extras, you might want to basically test those out. And actually this one is wider than I needed for my pinky nail. I'm going to fix that in a minute. I'm going to actually apply the next one while it's still nice and tacky. Just going to take off that little bottom strip. And then I'm going to put it on my other nail. And once I have both of these on, then I will actually kind of fit them to my nail a little bit better. So I'm just going to put it as close to my nail line as possible. Again, I'd already earlier pushed back my cuticles. Making sure, again, I can lift it off if I need to at this point. I'm just going to go with it. I always smooth down the base first. That's the most important part. That's where I find if it's not done properly, it tends to lift the most. And then I'm going to push it up and over to the sides. So center, side, side. Base, center, side, side. And then I'm just going to push that over and then use my other nail to break it. So we do have some doctoring to do here because I did choose a nail set that's very wide. And I couldn't leave it that way. First of all, it would look awful. So that would be no good. But also, it's going to lift. If I leave it this way, that when it cures to my nail, it's not going to cure to my finger. So that's just leaving an area for it to easily come off and then rip off later on, which is no good. So that's what I use this tool for. So first, I like to really press down on the base. I want to make sure that it is all secured and down in that spot. I'm just going to press down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this edge to kind of find where my nail is. And I'm just going to kind of push it under there. And then I'll use a file or something to help with this one because it is pretty wide. But I like to just kind of find the nail, push it over and a little bit under. Make sure it gets off of your actual skin. And you can use that to kind of also score it a little bit on the sides and it will start to just break off. So I'll do the same thing for this side. Am I on camera? Sorry guys if I was off camera. So I just take it and go over and under. You see how it's actually kind of breaking it for me? That's why this tool is just amazing to use for this. And then I just take it off. Now, if you had sized it perfectly, this would be much easier and you wouldn't have to go through these steps, but I know some of you are struggling a little bit with the sizing. I just wanted to show you how you can really kind of take anything. As long as it's wider, you can make it fit. Then I'm just going to go in with a nail file in this case because it is getting a little bit extra on the edges. And I'm just going to take off the excess. Alright, now I'm just going to do the same thing over on my other pinky. Again, I always start by pressing down on the base. And I'm pressing down very firmly. Just going to make sure it adheres nicely to that section. And then I'll just take the stick and just kind of bring it over and under to kind of score it where it needs to basically be off the skin and only on the nail bed. And I'll do it to the same on the other side. And then I'll just apply the other ones like I normally do for having them sized correctly already. Again, I could just futz around with it a little bit more, but I'm gonna continue on and do the rest of my nails for you guys. So again, what's great is that you can usually get more than one application out of your nails. So that's this one, this is gonna be this one. All right, so I'm gonna do the next nail. Again, you just take off the plastic coating on the top. And hold it in the center. As close to that nail line as possible without going on the skin. And then smooth it on the bottom, smooth it in the center, and then to the sides. From center to side. I'm just going to move it over until I find my nail. I'm just going to use my thumb to kind of press it into and behind the nail so it's not pulling it down, because you don't want to make it so that it tears over the actual front of your nail. You want to tear behind the nail. So I'm basically just kind of going behind it and then pushing it like up and down. So that takes it off very easily. Man, this is sparkly. Ooh, I like it. I'm just going to use this on the other nail, as I can. And then the base, smooth it. And then find the edge, down. I'm just gonna press it down at the base. And then I do have some excess over here on this side, so I'm just gonna use this tool to go over and a little bit under that nail edge. And you could also go and use a file to file off the excess there if you need to. But that one looks pretty good. Pretty good. One. It's going under the edge. Yeah, it's so super easy, guys. I love it. All right, so that's 4 nails done, 3 to go on each hand. So that's it, fully applied. Again, the more you do them, the quicker and easier they become. But now let's talk about this. So I just showed you that I got a full set off of just one half of Color Street. So I still have this whole half, and check it out. I've got this and these left over too from that first set. What happens if I leave these out like they are? They're going to dry out. These are, I know that they do have that kind of protective covering on them, but that's not going to keep them safe. So what you want to do is make sure that you keep that original packaging that you got with them, and then you need to seal it with heat. So there's a few different methods for doing that. One is if you happen to have like a food saver, those would work great. Another method is what I use, which is basically a flat iron. So this is not on, but I just very quickly put the edge on and it will seal that up. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And again, always let me know if you have questions. I'm always here to help. Have a good night, guys.
If you'd like to shop or browse and see what Color Street has to offer, my online store is sassygirlnails.com. Also, if you're not part of my Facebook group, go ahead and join. I'll put a link to both of these in the description box so you can just easily grab those. And that's it, guys. So thank you again so much, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!